watching this right now at the 89-minute mark of the live video covering UFC 300. But for this video, I'm going to talk about a reaction regarding, well, an online conservative host that sort of responded to me, but more so responded to Jake Shields. And in that aspect, he also sort of compared me to Jake Shields based on what he perceives is similar political opinions. Now, here's the thing, right? I know who Jake Shields is. I've seen him fight for a long time. We have mutual friends in the combat sports realm. Okay, he's came around Sacramento, trained out here. A few of our guys have came and trained out to their gyms with the Scrap Pack with Nick and Nate Diaz and whatnot. So again, Northern California MMA is a really small community where everybody knows everybody to a certain extent, right? Now, do we all share the same political views? Absolutely not. This is one of the most beautiful things about mixed martial arts and boxing in general, or combat sports in general, is that there is an old meme that goes, boxing gyms and MMA gyms are the only place where you have cops and criminals and people with felonies and people of different backgrounds, rich and poor, come together and train to either better themselves or to learn self-defense. So again, these are one of the things I guess I wanted to bring out in full context before I bring out this video. So this fella, his name is his name is Matt Spear. Okay, he hosts a show that, by the way, I'm a big fan of. And here's the thing, right? You'll start off with this audio. He's going to talk about how I am somehow kissing his butt or whatever, but then behind his back, I go and trash talk him or something to that degree, which, again, I completely disagree, just based on the fact that just because you disagree with somebody, it doesn't mean that what you say about them isn't genuine. Okay, just because you like their idea, or you like what they espouse, or you like that they are outspoken, and maybe sometimes you don't agree with everything that they say, it doesn't mean that you are talking behind their back or anything like that. But he goes on to say this while also comparing my political views to Jake Shields, which I think is, well, of course I'm going to disagree with it, but I'm going to tell you why. So here it is.
Think you know and what you actually know are two different things. Why am I coming down so hard on you? Why am I? Because I've read your.
Well, you can come down as hard as you want on anybody. Quite frankly, I mean, it's not going to affect my life one way or the other. But again, I think you understand that we all have differing opinions on things. So more on this guy.
Your bullshit that you've put. I've read how you treat Jews. I've heard the shit you said about me, you little fucker.
Okay, so again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He's saying that I said something about him. This is what I said. One of his moderators on his show, I hit him up and said, hey, listen, I heard Matt say in this one show that, well, there are people out there that do online shows or something and they look like they're all right, but they're really not. And I was thinking, is he talking about me, or is he talking about maybe other people that he knows? Obviously, I'm not going to be the only person that he knows that does an online show, nor am I even the biggest online show out there, really far from it. But obviously, it was just an honest question that I asked one of his moderators. Now, I don't know how his moderators took it. Obviously, they went and told him, which I don't have a problem with, but apparently he takes it as me somehow talking bad about him behind his back or backbiting him, and perhaps correlating that to the fact that I have a differing opinion than him, and somehow making all of this cluster together as some sort of indication of my personality or my honor or some sort. But moving on.
And you think that I don't know? You don't think I know?
It's not that I don't want you to know. It's not a secret. What I said about you, I said in good faith, but I've also said in objective reality, but I also said in an honest question of really out of curiosity to a question that I had, which was, hey, was this guy talking about me in one of his online shows? And if not, then that's fine. I'll just move on. And that's exactly what it was. It's exactly what his moderator said. And I never really thought much of it after that. But moving on.
Oh, the shit you've said about me, but you suck my dick all the time and say how great I am and I'm your buddy and read this and read that, but you talk.
Yeah, just because I like your ideas and just because I think that you're a brilliant human being, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to criticize you or I'm not going to have any curious questions about what you say or whatever misinterpretation I may have.
Talk shit about my back. The worst thing you could have fucking possibly done was pretty much, in not so many words, call me a Jew lover.
So once again, he wants to make this about that particular subject, which I don't know why. The bottom line is, here's the reality of it. I don't hate anyone. I don't have a hatred in my body for any specific person or anything like that. Now, for you, if you think that because I talk a certain way or because I express an opinion a certain way that somehow it shows hate, well, that's your own subjective reality versus mine.
How fucking dare you? So you can keep pretending, you two-faced piece of shit, that you're my biggest fan and you love me and Matt's so badass and Matt's so tough because he faces people. Well, I just
Yeah, that is a great thing about you. What is to not like about that? And you are a badass. Oh, but you know what? The badass here also goes and calls and challenges me out. Okay, well, we'll see.
faced
You'll
you and
see.
you're not much of a fucking challenge. I don't care how MMA you think you are. And if you want to challenge that side too, show up at my front fucking door, roll the dice and find out.
Look, that's all tough bravado talk. You know that's not going to happen. I live in California. You live in Virginia. And you can come to California. That's one thing. But for me to go to Virginia, well, other than going to Washington, D.C., or going to the East Coast or anything like that, look, I don't know what reality I would have where I would show up at your house and somehow try to street fight you over an opinion of something. And look, here's another thing you got to understand too, right? You got to understand this is the online world. We live in a real world. Now, by the way, here's one thing that I also highly respect about Matt. He comes from California. Okay? And if you know anything about California, you live out here, people out here live real lives. And when I mean real lives, you know exactly what I mean by real. Look at my shirt right here. I have blood stains on my shirt. Okay? I'm not going to talk about why. This had something to do with tonight. Put it this way, it has nothing to do with any of you online for the bottom line of it. People out here live real lives. Real lives that most of you may not understand, but Matt, being from Ventura, where he was originally from what he said, this is something that he would understand. So there is no online beef or online problems with anybody. If I like you, I like you. If I have a taste for your particular content and because I think that you're brilliant, that's what it is. But if I'm also going to criticize you, I'm also going to criticize you, and it has nothing to do with hate. It has nothing to do with backbiting. It doesn't make me think any less of you. It doesn't make me a two-face for having an opinion on what I think is right about you, but also an opinion on what I think you may be wrong at, or just a contrasting worldview that we may have. And by the way, for those of you that are just joining this on the live portion of this content, just know that this man is talking to me, but also talking to Jake Shields. So I think that this is interesting for you guys to take a look at.
And your comment that I'm a Jew lover so much, and so
I never said that. I never said that you're a J lover or a lover of any kind, nor would it even matter who you love or don't love. It's not a concern of mine. I don't have a problem with anybody loving anybody. But for some reason, there's some sort of fixated mission towards, I don't know, making it about this for one reason or another. But again, it's like just because we have a care or some sort of concern for people in Palestine, whether you think that they're all terrorists or whether you think some of them are terrorists or this and that, the bottom line is none of us have any support for terrorism. Now, obviously, you say this about Jake Shields. I can't speak for Jake Shields. Just because we know the same people or something like that, or know the same mutual people because we're from the same region of Northern California, it doesn't mean that I espouse the same views as he does, or somehow if he espouses an insane view, that somehow that should be somehow indicative of who I am as a person. But anyways,
So many words. You hate Jews.
no, I don't. And again, it's not fair for you to go out and say that when I can't go out and defend myself, because guess what? While you were talking about these things, I got to be honest with you, I was out there literally living my real life. Okay? This is real life California. None of this stuff online is real beef. I don't have real beef with anybody from Virginia. Do I have beef with people from New Jersey? Oh my goodness, 100% yes. But you know what? These are real people. These are people that are actually within my proximity, and people that I've grown up with, and people that I've had real conflicts with. So this idea that I hate you or I'm backbiting you, well, I don't think that at all. And you know what? Just because I think the world of you and I think that you're an awesome person because you're obviously a brilliant, high IQ'd human being who has had these high positions in the military and has something to say, it doesn't mean that I hate you or I hate anybody or somehow have this nefarious actions towards defaming you in any kind of way behind your back.
And the thing is, you probably don't know any of them.
So you say that I don't know any Jews? I highly doubt that, considering that I live in Sacramento and a lot of them here are locksmiths. I'll leave it at that. For those of you that are in Sacramento, you know what you know.
Anything else, big guy?
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, to my channel and Matt's channel as well, because it is a great channel. I listen to it. Obviously, you don't have to agree with what anybody says to you, but guess what? This is the name of his show. Don't unfriend me. Why? Because people are going to be friends online, but it doesn't mean that they have to agree. And guess what? Don't unfriend me. But like and subscribe to my YouTube channel in the meantime, will ya?
I didn't fucking think so.
And because I don't respond quickly enough to his own requests at that particular moment of time, he, of course, brings up the bravado of saying, well, I don't think so. Well, that's what I thought. Ha ha. Okay.
Is it Roman? Hi.
So what is he referring to when he was saying it's Roman? So basically he's talking about the history of Palestine and the meaning of it. Yes, we know that the word Palestine really has nothing to do with any biblical or Quranic history or anything like that, and we know that it comes from the Romans. I'm not disputing that. I don't know why he thinks that I'm disputing this just based on a certain worldview that I have of certain things.
Hi.
But
Were you up in the? You're going to bed?
okay, this is the part where he's
Jewish and
talking to
Israel
his
comrade.
kid.
I think you are.
This is the part where he's talking to his kid. This is let me
Go get some sleep. Hey,
forward
I know you
this.
don't feel Jewish and Israel comrades. Comrades? Jewish and Israel.
Okay, just wait a second. Here we go. All
Get some
right.
sleep. Hey,
Okay, so
I
he's
know you don't
back.
feel. Do you need anything from me?
No, I actually lucky. Like, it's not, I was holding, but it'd be wet, super itchy, and I basically, my eye would be like this.
Uh-huh.
Instead of this, it'd be this.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Hey, would you do Dad a favor before you go? Will you get me just some water from the table?
Yeah.
Thanks, pal.
How long I'm going to sleep?
I will tell her, buddy.
I think all my electronics are.
All right, so now
You know
he's
I'm
back.
not anti. Yeah, you are. You're absolutely fucking it. You know what? Let me give you a bigger.
All right, so I'm basically responding to him here on the chat saying I'm not anti anybody. I don't hate Israel. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate nobody. I don't have any espoused feelings towards these people or anything like that. Now, do I have an opinion on certain matters? And who doesn't have an opinion on this matter nowadays? And it's very controversial at that. You also have to understand that a lot of people are just going to either not like you or like you based on these opinions, and this is one classic example of that.
Target. Yeah, you are, Aunt. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, well, tell me why.
Just because you served in Israel doesn't mean, yeah, here you go. Why don't you just repaste the shit?
So this is what I said to him. I said, listen, just because you had served in Israel a long time ago, okay, I'm basically saying to him that you may have had Jewish friends and Israeli friends at that time, but I'm basically trying to tell him, well, I live in Sacramento right now. I'm around them. And the point that I'm trying to make here is I'm not trying to flex on him saying, well, I know more about the conflict more than you, or this and that, or whatever. It has nothing to do with any of that. I'm basically merely saying that, look, I have friends that are of this denomination, and I don't have a problem with them. That's all that I'm saying. And in comparison to mine, all that I'm saying is that you don't live close to them. And by the way, that's not a knock on him in any kind of way, because this is literally something that he had said previously in his own show.
You already said, just because you served in Israel doesn't mean you're only one with Jewish and Israel comrades. Comrades? I live in Sacramento and it's been years.
Yeah, so he basically says comrades, like he's surprised that I said comrades. Like, okay, I didn't mean it in any kind of way. It's another way of saying homie, mate, friend, buddy, but whatever. I think he's over that, and I think he understands that part, but moving on.
Since you had been around Jews. How do you know where the fuck I've been?
I don't know where you've been, but you've told me in one episode where you live in a place in Virginia where it's mostly white. Now, you didn't specify what kind of white, but how am I supposed to know that some of them were Jewish and some of them were not? And by the way, he even goes on to explain the kind of neighbors that he has, and none of them are Jewish, which sort of proves my point that I'm around more Jewish people than you, and that's really what it is. But anyways,
How do you know where I've been?
I don't know where you've been.
When's the last time I was in Israel? Educate. Why don't you tell me more about me?
I don't know where you've been in Israel, but what you said is that you've served in the military from the time of the 90s all the way to the just right before the war on terror started. So you do the math in my own estimation how long you've been there now. Have you been there as a civilian? Have you been there since then? Have you been there under some sort of contractor type of, guise of some kind of way? Maybe, but I don't know that. I'm not here pretending that I know one way or the other.
Tell me more about me. When was I in Israel? When's the last time I've been? I'll wait. When's the last time I've been in Israel? I don't know about Jason. I'm done with Jason. Fuck Jason. Jason's lightweight. I want Carrie.
Me. Basically, he's saying forget this guy that he was arguing with previously. Now he's found a new person in the room to pick on. Here I am.
I want Caillou to tell me when's the last time I've been in Israel. What year?
Well, you got Caillou right here, and it's Kyrie for your own information, but that's neither here or there. You could call me whatever you want.
Can you please tell me the years I was in Israel and in what facet and capacity I was there? Thanks, brother, man. Love you. Good night. Will you get the cat? Will you feed her, please, or something, or make a rug out of her? Go out. Psst, psst, psst. Go with your brother. Go with her. She's about as scared of me as nothing. What years? When was I in Israel? Hey, let me ask you another question, big guy.
So he makes this about when was he in Israel or this and that. That's not my concern. And you know why that's not my concern. All that I'm merely saying is that just as you've had Jewish friends based on your military service trying to help them over there, I've also had my own Jewish friends over here in Sacramento and even in New Jersey, in a place where I grew up. That is all I'm merely saying. If for those of you can't understand this miscommunication that's going on,
we can do it like Harry Carey. Hey, I'm just wondering, do you know Jesus is a Jew?
To what context do you mean that he's a Jew? Do you mean that he's a Semite? Okay, we can agree to that. Sure. Semite, yes. By Jewish, do you mean that he practiced the most current religion that is of the Tawhid monotheism at the time of when he was in service during Jerusalem? Sure, there's nobody that disagrees with that. They always use this idea that, like, well, okay, Jesus Christ was a Jew or he was a Semite. Well, nobody is really disputing that. I don't know why that's a point that they have to make, but either way.
Did you know? Oh, we already did the drone attacks. Don't worry about that. We've already done that shit. We're switching gears. Matt, you're getting.
So earlier in the show, obviously, just like what I find him to be very interesting about is that, guess what? There has been a drone attack that had happened in Israel due to the Iranians, right? And obviously, with a news like this, okay, you don't want to go to Fox News, you don't want to go to CNN, you don't want to go to Al Jazeera, you don't want to go to any of these places, but you'd want to go to this guy. And I'm being honest and I'm being sincere about that. And this is not kissing butt or anything like that. I'm literally telling the truth. And I don't know why he doesn't understand the objectivity of understanding, like, yeah, of course I'm going to go to you for this particular information, because guess what? You're a person that is of learned knowledge to this subject of matter at hand. And of course I should be listening to you at this, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with everything that you say or somehow show the same type of loyalty that your moderators show to you without disagreeing with some of the things that I may not agree with. But either way,
I'm not getting emotional, bro.
so I wrote basically on the comment section why he's saying I'm not getting emotional, bro, is because I felt like, well, look, we're just having a difference of opinion and you're spewing all these emotions at me based on whatever type of dickhead move that you've witnessed me do or say to other people, which you somehow think is indicative of a correlation to one's political thought process.
There is nothing, and even if I am, there is nothing that is wrong with getting emotional with facts.
There is nothing wrong with getting emotional with facts. Well, let's analyze that for a second. Is there anything wrong with getting emotional with facts? Probably not, right? Especially if you feel that you're right about something, as long as it's correct. But here's another thing that you also have to understand. I know what you mean when you say something to the effect of, well, these Palestinians could have moved out instead of staying, right? I understand that. But it's also a fact that some Israeli soldiers didn't have to do what they had to do and go too hard on these people to the point where you may have killed some innocent people and may not have known the differentiation. That's also a fact. But guess what? I'm not being emotional about. However, there's going to be people that are going to be 10 times more emotional than me about this particular subject. But just like you said, there's nothing wrong with being emotional as long as it's a fact.
Nothing at all.
Nothing
Maybe
at
you
all.
can't do it, but I can. I've been doing it for years. I'm not emotional. I think you're an asshole.
That's your own subjective opinion. And if you think that I'm an asshole, again, remember, we're talking about online. Remember, bro, we live a real life off of online. Okay? So just understand, okay, with the blood stain that I have on my shirt, understand this. There's real life situations that are going on here in this world. Okay, there's real life situations. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not that disclosive to other people about everything that goes on in my life. But, bro, you think that I'm an a-hole because of the things that I say online? I'm okay with that. They say that about 45 as well. They say that about Donald Trump, but we all know what happens from there.
I think you're an asshole. I think you're a two-faced dick who talks shit behind my back and can't.
And I never talked smack about your back, which is why I'm making this video to simply explain to you exactly what it is that I meant with everything and my true intentions about everything and what it is that I'm trying to do when I'm asking questions to your moderators, when I'm asking questions to you, but also I state one specific opinion on one particular topic, and then you make everything about every small thing that I've done or said to someone as somehow proof of my own personal or character flaw.
Back it up. Who's not man enough to call in and actually back it up?
So he's asking me to call him in while I'm watching UFC 300. Man, I've called in your shows plenty of times. And look, we've had face to face conversations. I'm not afraid to get on camera. I'm not camera shy. I obviously do content like you uh, and get on camera like you and do videos like you, do lives like you. I'm not afraid to go do these things. Remember, bro, online versus real life. This is not real beef. This is not real conflict. And quite frankly, I don't want any conflict with you. And if you did, I don't even know how we would make that happen in a realistic world. Let's be honest. Would somebody like you be willing to come out to California? Okay. But if you did, I think you'd have a different discourse than what you think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why this guy is in this, combative mode for whatever reason. I don't know if it's, partially PTSD. I don't know if it has something to do with whatever has happened to him in his past or whatever, but he seems to be very combative with anybody that has a different opinion than him. And obviously, he doesn't know how to differentiate that because he thinks that I'm somehow being a two-faced, pretending to be his biggest fan, but at the same time talking behind his back. No, that's not what it is. Literally, I respect your opinions, I respect your takes, but just because I have a different opinion, it doesn't mean that I'm two-faced. Look, what he's really upset at is that I called him an entertainer. And I'm going to elaborate more on that in a second and really gives you the haps on that particular instant of why I said that he's an entertainer and why I didn't really take it as such an insult and why he shouldn't take it as really an insult either. But anyways,
I tell me when I've been in Israel. You said yourself you don't live around Israelis. I never said those words in my life. Show me the episode. Show me when I said it. Show me which.
well, you have said it. And again, just like what I said to your moderator Lee, I said, well, obviously, I don't know which episode it is because you do episodes every day consistently as you should, which, by the way, is also a compliment because guess what? That's the same reason why I go out and put out content every day because you have to be consistent at this. So, again, not an issue, not a way of disrespecting or dissing anybody, but moving forward.
Article I ever said I don't live around Israelis. I didn't say. I said this area isn't predominantly full of Jews.
So you said that this area is not predominantly full of Jews. Okay, fair enough. But where I'm at in Sacramento, it's a lot of Arabs, there's a lot of Middle Easterners, but in that same mix, there's also a lot of Jewish Israelis. And in the East Coast where I lived at, well, look, let me tell you where all this started, right? Basically, I said on the comment section of this particular show that he just did, where I said, the majority of Israelis come from Eastern Europe. Is that really a lie? Or were a lot of them indigenous to that land? Okay, there are indigenous Moroccans that are of Jewish descent. There are indigenous Lebanese that are of Jewish heritage. There's a lot of Arabs that are of Jewish heritage in Egypt. Okay, but let's just be honest. Are they the majority of Israel or is it the Eastern Europeans? Now, by the way, with that particular number, I'm not going to pretend to know one way or the other, but from what it seems like, a lot of the people that you have met that are probably Jewish people that are from Israel or have claimed Israel are all of Eastern European descent. Now, guess what? How about the locksmith guys that I know out here in Sacramento, right, that are of Jewish heritage, right, that actually came from Israel? A lot of them do have a Middle Eastern background where they have a Moroccan background, but they're Jewish. They have a Lebanese background, but they're Jewish. They have an indigenous Israeli background, and they're from Israel or whatnot. That's literally all that I mean when I say that, okay, I mean, and you said it yourself right here. You don't live in a predominantly Jewish area. But again, how many of them are in the same number of Jewish people that you've lived with in Israel when you served there? But anyways.
That doesn't mean that I don't live near Jews. It doesn't mean I don't spend time with Jews. When were
But here's the thing that you have to understand. Once again, this is talking about online versus real life. Once again, real life versus online. I don't know what you do in your real life. You can only show what it is on your social media platforms and whatnot. But other than that, I don't know everything that you do. So again, you're asking questions that you know I don't have an answer to, nor did I claim to know, other than just the small stint of information that you disclose to the world.
was the last time I was in Israel? In what facet and capacity? You're a pussy. You're a pussy.
Yeah, of course. Every time somebody insults you for whatever reason they have in an argument, I mean, that really just tells you a lot about their argument. And then, of course, he goes into, oh, you're a pussy or this and that. Like, again, man, you're an online character. We're not going to meet in real life unless you're really compelled to do that. And at your age and whatever it is that you have going on in my life versus what I also have going on in my life, I don't know how that's really a reality if you really want to talk real, especially when you know you and I live real lives and, quite frankly, real conflict beyond people that disagree online.
You can't even defend yourself. Guys like you, man. The reason why you guys go in the MMA is because you don't have the sack.
Listen to this. This is the best part right here. What he says, the reason why you guys go into MMA. Well, did it ever occur to you that people go into MMA because they actually love it? Like this idea that, okay, people go into MMA because there's some nefarious reason or some sort of whatever psychological default. You want to know what? Unfortunately, he is right about that. There are a lot of guys that are screwed up in MMA. We can't deny that. There's some realities to that. There's a lot of people that go into the sport because they've gone through some real traumatic things in their lives. But it's not like this fella hasn't gone through some traumatic things in his life either, right? But somehow he makes it a low-hanging fruit argument that because we're in MMA or involved in the sport or somehow covering the sport or competing in it, that there's whatever reason that he can attach to just because we don't agree with his worldview.
I could do it in real life. So you go and pretend fight. But when it comes down to it, you're a fucking coward. And that's on you, man. That's not on me. Don't put me in your box.
Again, I think if you think that being a non-coward has something to do with serving your country or serving in the military, okay, that's on your own metric and how you want to measure it. Again, not everybody is going to have the same measure of metrics. Hey, you don't know if I feel that same way about you or whatever, but I don't know, man. It's a weird metric to measure, but I suppose, again, this is a guy that will just go at anything that has a low-hanging fruit, and really that's just what it comes down to.
Serve my country. I did my time. And I don't want a medal for it. I don't want an award for it. I don't want recognition from it. But what I don't want is some poser to come in and question me who has done nothing of service for anyone else other than themselves.
Okay, so he's saying that we only serve ourselves. Well, I don't know what to tell you. When you live in America, it's quite a self-serving type of nation, isn't it? Yeah, but whatever. I mean, anyways.
I just told you forget it. I'm done with you. You're done. Yes, you did. You just said it. You just said that I haven't. When have I been in Israel? Tell me what years. You know all about me. Tell me when it is.
First of all, when you said that you served in Israel with the IDF, you never specified which year. I'm only going off of what you said and basically using it as an example like, hey, you know what? You've had experience with Jews, so have I. This is my experience with them. Your experience is with the IDF. Mine is dealing with locksmiths in Sacramento. And I don't hate them. That's literally all that I'm trying to say.
Just answer the question. You just accused me that I haven't been to Israel in 20 years or 30 years. What years? What years? You tell me what years I was in Israel, and then I'll tell you what you said behind my back.
And so he's going to pull up the DM that I had of me and his moderator, okay? Which, by the way, you'll find out it's not really all that nefarious to begin with, but somehow he makes it more than what it is. And you'll see.
I mean, you want to do this, you want to play high school bullshit, let's go. That's fine, but I'm waiting. See, the reason why there's divide in this country is because there's specific people who are trying to divide. This is a perfect example. Somebody who says something to your face and then behind your back goes and talks some shit. It's ridiculous.
Which, again, I had no intentions of talking behind your back. I respect you as a man. I respect you for your accomplishments. I respect you for your knowledge. I don't have any nefarious reasons to talk behind your back other than the fact that I said that you're an entertainer. That's what you think is talking behind your back. I got news for you. Whenever you do content of any kind, I understand that your content is very real. I understand that it's real to the point where you give out information that is very valuable, but also information that is sometimes exclusive. I get that. But still, yes, people come to your page to be educated. I come to your page to be educated, to know more about things that I never knew of and look at nuances that I've never thought of. But it doesn't mean that we're not entertainers, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be entertained by what you said. What you have a problem with is the idea of what it means to be an entertainer, or your own definition by its most negative context. And quite frankly, that's not my problem if you feel that way, but I meant no harm by it whatsoever.
There's no reason for this. I'm asking you a straight up question. And you won't answer me.
Well, guess what? I'm answering you now by literally playing this back and talk as if I'm talking to you, because I don't know if I'll even have a chance to talk to you, but either way.
I'm still waiting. See, dude, the great thing is that I keep receipts. Oh, man. All right, let's see. Is this you? Is that you?
All right, so for those of you that don't know, this is on the. I'm gonna link the YouTube video before on the description. Okay, turn to 2003. So 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 53 seconds of this video. I basically posted a picture, right? So he's reading from the person that basically shared it, okay? The person's name was Nisreen Kufkash, okay? Obviously somebody that I don't know, just random people that are sharing random stuff online. It says here, we will never stop sharing. It's a picture of McDonald's and a Palestinian flag. Now, it doesn't show the entire context of it. What basically the article was saying that I shared there was saying that McDonald's had gone down in their business based on the protests that have been going on around the world, based on the pushback that has been happening to Israel. That's literally what the article is. He somehow correlates it as a way of negativity towards Israel in any kind of way, when I'm just literally sharing a news of people saying that, okay, well, McDonald's stocks are going down because of the protests that people are having, saying that they're not going to buy McDonald's product. But I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, all politics aside, I mean, McDonald's is probably the most unhealthiest thing in the world anyway. But either way, I don't even know if that's true or not. I just thought it was interesting, considering that, okay, well, if there's any truth to this, then, okay, whatever. It's not going to change my life either way. I don't eat McDonald's. But if there isn't any truth to it, then all right, then I guess I'm just not going to go and share stuff that's not true or real. But somehow, because it's correlated with anything to do with Palestine or anything that somehow it's deemed, I don't know. I don't know if they think it's threatening or offensive. I don't know what their mindset is on that. But anyways, here it goes.
How many years have I been there? Is this you? Free Palestine. Free Palestinia, the Roman word.
Okay, well, the person that I shared it underneath me, okay, that wrote that caption, I didn't write any captions on this other than just the share portion of it. So
you shared it. We will never stop sharing. You shared that? Was that you?
Yeah, that's me. I did share that. I did share that. I did share that. What am I supposed to not admit that? Yeah, I shared that. I shared an article that said that the stocks of McDonald's are going down based on the protests towards Israel. That's all that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I never said that, oh, good on them. You know, F McDonald. I never said any of that. I don't feel that way. I don't have any feelings towards McDonald's anyway. The only thing that I feel about them is that I know I feel rotten inside after I eat it because McDonald's is just not the healthiest food out there. But anyways.
Free Palestine? Just making sure we're on the same page. Was that you or is that somebody else?
No, that's me. 100% that's me. I own up to that.
I'm just asking questions, right?
You can ask all the questions you want. I'm here to answer
them. This
them.
one?
Just don't move the goalpost when you get your answer.
When Matt said in one of his shows, these are people who do...
This is the DM that I wrote to his moderator. He's reading it right now.
Videos online, part of his dummy community, who are not all right. Was he talking about me?
Let me explain the context of this, right? He said in one episode, hey, I've got some few listeners here. They do their own videos and they may seem all right, but they're not. And I'm wondering if he's talking about me. There's nothing wrong with asking that, is there? And then obviously, guess what his moderator said to me? He said, no, I don't think he would be talking about you. If he did, basically in the words, paraphrasing it, he's basically saying, well, if he did, I'd tell you, but that's not the case. Well, okay. Well, if that's not the case, then all right. It's a non-issue. Then I never had an issue with Matt, other than the fact that he finds it offensive that I called him an entertainer. Anyways.
While back, he's consistent with his show. It's spot about a week ago or so. Well, that's why I asked if he's brought it up to you. He has this idea that just because I banter and trash talk online that I'm somehow not okay, as if this guy's isn't in entertainment business also. Is that you?
I did say that. That's exactly what I said. I said just because I banter, talk some smack online, turn up the personality to a level 10, to sort of garner views and attention. Yeah, I'm not lying about that. I tell you when I put on the professional wrestling face, I'm not lying about that. Because guess what? I mean, look, maybe you don't have to do that as much in political content, but in the world of MMA content, you got to have a little bit of that, right? People want just a little bit more than just the kicks and the punches and the storylines and the news breakdowns. More than anything, they want a little bit more than that. They want a little bit of flair. They want to get to know you a little bit. They want to personalize it. They want to attach you to a certain personality or a certain persona of some sort that they can get behind. That's all that I'm merely saying. And you know what, Matt? If that's not you and that's not who you are, then fair play to you. But that's not who I am. I'll admit that I put on for the camera. If you don't, okay. You're a man who can speak for your own, and if you disagree, then that's your every right to disagree. I'm not going to argue with that. If you say that you don't put on, okay, you don't put on. I'm not going to argue either way.
Did you say that?
I did say that.
Questioning my sincerity? Who I am? Is that you?
Let's see what
That's
he
not you.
wrote here. Well, that's why I asked if he brought it up to you. He has this idea that just because I trash talk online and that's somehow not okay, as if this guy isn't in the entertainment business also. Haha. Yeah, that's what. Okay. I don't understand what is so offensive about that, but if he finds it offensive, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, obviously an apology is not going to be good enough for you, and you told me to shove it up my butt as a result of that in the most vulgar way that you could explain it, because that's just how you express yourself in a vulgar way. But that's cool. I don't express myself in that kind of way. If you choose to do that, that's your own way, that's your own business, and that's that. But moving on.
You, is it? It looks like you, unless it's a guy named Karabunga, because I can't see the why. He has this idea just because I banter and trash talk online that I'm not somehow okay, as if this guy isn't the entertainment business also. What? Like I'm like, what do you mean? Like I'm a clown? Like I'm here for your fucking entertainment? Like,
Well, you're on YouTube. Not only are you on YouTube, you're also on Facebook. You're also on Spreely TV, which I mean is a TV deal in and of itself. So again, I'm sorry if I classify a spade a spade. We are sort of in the entertainment business. Yes, your entertainment is news. Your entertainment is fact driven. But in just my humble opinion, it's entertainment regardless. And this is literally what he has a problem with, other than the fact that he perceives me as some sort of Jake Shields fanboy of some sort, or somehow that espouses the same idea as him.
silly like a clown? Is that what it is? He's never said anything like that to me. I thought you were referring to a show. If you hear or see something like that in the future, bring it to our attention and I'll make a comment. I got a whole.
So that's what the moderator said. He's never said anything like that to me. If you do, bring it up to the show and I'll bring up the comment. Okay. When he said that, I said, fair play. Then he didn't. And it was the end of it. Just so you know.
Whole plethora of these, man. That's not you? Shall I go on?
Go on. Let's hear some more.
See, the cool thing about having my moderators is that they never know when someone's going to go ahead and question my integrity or start talking shit. So they catalog things. Because we never know when one of you yokels is going to try to take me to court.
I'm not here to do that. I'm telling you right now, I'm not the type that's going to go and try to take you to court. I don't have any reason to wanting to do that, nor do I have any intention of doing that whatsoever. First of all, man, I'm being sincere. I'm telling you the truth. I'm a fan of your show. I'm a fan of your show not because I think you have the greatest personality in the world or because I think that you're the nicest guy in the world. Obviously, I'm not going to pretend I'm the nicest guy in the world either, but guess what? When it comes to talking about MMA, I know my stuff. When it comes to talking about geopolitics, you know your stuff. And because of that, I'm going to give you the proper respect as a result of that.
You never know. Do you want me to read the part about when you said about my experience with Jews and you lied and pretend like you know me? Yeah, that's part of what I said.
I never said, nor do I pretend that I know you in any kind of way. I don't know you. I only know what you say and what you disclose online. And again, remember, there's real life, okay? And then there's online. And online is not real life, and online is never real beef. And by the way, you grew up listening to gangster rap in California. You and I know that guys who are in that world have real life conflict with people in the streets and never with people in the industry or people online. And this is a clear example of that. You're not anybody that I'm ever going to really beef with online. For what? For what? Because you have a different opinion? Guess what? Millions of Americans and people around the world have a different opinion and also share the same opinion as you. Do I hate them? Do I think that I'm somehow compelled to backbite them for whatever reason?
Oh, okay. You know what? That's enough. That's enough for me. Because you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You're the guy that said, "Oh, Matt, dude, I love it. Love it when Matt goes off. I love the information he gives. I love how honest he is. I love it, blah, 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 blah."
I did say that. Yep, and he's reiterating exactly what I feel about him, and that's the God honest truth. But just because that's the God honest truth, it doesn't mean that I also can't criticize you on other things. Just like you do with Trump, just like you do with anybody else on the GOP, just like you do with anybody else on the conservative side, just like you do with Candace Owens, just like you do with the Hodge twins. By the way, the people that put you on the well, not put you on, but obviously inspired you and also gave you a shout out, which sort of helped your page and helped me recognize your page due to the Hodge twins. But either way,
Blah, 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 blah. Your personal messages you've sent me.
what personal messages have I sent you? Other than today, I'll tell you the personal message that I sent him today. Okay? I'll tell you right now. This is what I said. This is what I said to Matt today. Before that, I never really said any. This is what I said to him. The first time I ever messaged Matt was all the way back in September, right? This was after I made a cameo on his September 19th show. Okay, so I said, "Hey, Matt, thanks for the show cameo. I enjoy your show before, and it was even awesome to be a part of it. And then here's a link to my YouTube page. Basically, when I had started out with this YouTube page, I had, like, I think at the time, 83 subscribers. Now I have 289. Yay!" But this is the last message that I said to him after I sent him my link, right? And he never responded back to me or anything like that ever since then. This is what I said. I said, "Matt, I want to explain something to you before you mistaken what I say again. That is, if you care to know. The truth is, what I said to Lee, by the way, the moderator that had relayed the message, calling you an entertainer was not meant to be an insult. It is bad to say, is it bad to say that you have charisma, but it doesn't diminish the real knowledge you can contribute to the world?" That's all that I said. If that offends you, I'm telling you it's not an insult. If I felt like I was trying to backbite you, I would press Lee. I would be pressing Lee right now for even telling you, but I'm not, because obviously I don't take it as a nefarious thing. So why am I going to be mad that Lee told you? I would be pressing Lee right now. "Oh, why did you tell Matt? Oh, you snitched on me to Matt." No, I'm not doing all that, because guess what? If I had an opportunity to say it to you, I would. So I literally asked him to ask you if you referred this to me about a previous episode. He said it was really nothing, and Lee already said it wasn't about me. So it was really nothing more than to just question about what you said, and that was really it. It was a non-issue after he clarified what you meant, and that's all it was. Second, I also said, don't get it twisted just because I respect you and what you're about, that somehow I'm sucking you off. I'm really not trying to be disrespectful here. Just have a different opinion. It doesn't mean that I don't think the world of the knowledge that you bring to the world. Okay? You have every right to call me a dick. Okay? Because guess what? We all can be at times, and that's just the reality of it. But you don't have the right to lie to your audience with this bravado that you at 50 years old could take me in my own world. Okay, because you know what comments he said. "Yeah, if you want to challenge me on the MMA world too, yeah, I'll come to my front door." Like, I'm not going to come to your front door. You know what's going to happen if I hypothetically did. You'd call the cops, and rightfully so. But that's exactly why I'm not going to do that. And you would not sign any papers to take me on in any sanctioning matter at hand. So again, it's a dead issue. But anyways, this is not trash talk, my brother. I've beat up guys in a gym that are younger, more skilled, and in the unarmed department, and faster and even stronger than you. I understand I'm a dick, whatever that means, but please be humble about what you know and don't know, and because I've never pretended to know more than you when I never did. Okay, I never pretended to know more than this guy is basically what I'm trying to say to him. But anyways, let's continue on with his video here.
But then when you're behind my back, You question my relationship with Jews just now. You even question about my time working with IDF. When?
Well, I never questioned that. I said that you haven't been there for a long time, which is what I'm saying is that in this current moment of time right now, I probably have interacted with more Jewish people than you have. And that's all that I'm merely saying. So I just wanted to clarify that.
When was I in Israel? Just answer the question.
You know that I don't know the answer to that. I don't know why you're asking me a question that I don't know the answer to. I don't know when you've been to Israel because you never mentioned what year specifically you were there. You only said it in one of your stories, in one of your episodes, and so I'm relaying off of that. So this idea that you want me to answer for whatever reason, I don't know what that proves, even if I knew the answer towards when you were there.
My mods capture everything because you want to know why? You know what's hilarious about this? They probably deserve an ungodly amount of money that I can't give them. Man, they are fucking loyal. They are so damn loyal.
And I salute you for that because guess what? You need to have loyal people on your side with whatever you do in life. And again, this goes beyond just this guy Matt or whatever. It goes just your life lesson in general. You need people behind you in whatever you do. But kudos to Matt for having those type of people. Hey, I know those same type of people. They're very nice people. I interact with them online. It's all cordial. It's all great.